A wealthy businessman cut his business trip short and returned home early. He was shocked to find his wife playfully swimming with another man in the pool. However, instead of confronting them, he quietly slipped into the bedroom. Upon seeing the chaotic state of the room, his anger surged. Still, he didn't go confront his wife. Instead, he carefully planned his revenge. That evening, when his wife returned home, she was surprised to see him. She asked why he was back early, since he had said he'd return next week. The businessman didn't answer. Instead, he embraced her and said a few affectionate words. As his wife turned around, he raised his gun and, without hesitation, shot her. The gardener, hearing the gunshots, quickly came to the door to inquire about what had happened. The businessman grabbed the gun and fired 3 shots at the window. Terrified, the gardener ran away. The businessman then moved his wife's body to another location. He picked up the spent shell casings from the floor, cleaned them, and threw them back down. He then stripped off his blood-stained clothes and tossed them into the fire, washing off the blood from his body. After all of this, he didn't leave. He waited for the police to arrive. More precisely, he was waiting for one person. Sure enough, the police arrived soon after. The businessman immediately requested that a police officer named Nick be allowed to come in for negotiations. Nick, at that moment, was completely confused. After all, he wasn't a negotiator and didn't even know the businessman. In order to ensure smooth communication, both sides lowered their weapons. Nick was, in fact, the man having an affair with the businessman's wife, but he didn't know the businessman and wasn't even aware of the woman's identity. As Nick looked around the room, it wasn't until he saw a photo on the wall that he realized who the wife was. He quickly ran to her and found she was still breathing. At that moment, the businessman raised his gun. Nick felt a chill down his spine. He quickly knocked the gun from the businessman's hand and tackled him to the ground. Colleagues who had been waiting outside rushed in and successfully subdued the suspect. The police immediately began to provide aid to the businessman's wife and quickly transported her to the hospital. Nick's eyes were filled with hatred, while the businessman sitting in the police car flashed a strange smile. It seemed everything had gone according to his plan. The police collected enough evidence at the scene. Nick was determined not to let the businessman escape justice. He went to the prosecutor in charge of the case, delivered the businessman's confession, and once again recounted the events at the scene. The prosecutor assured him not to worry, as his conviction rate was 97%. The next day, the prosecutor began organizing the relevant documents, confident that the case was closed. The murderer had been caught at the scene and had signed a confession. Everyone assumed it was just a formality. Soon, a routine pretrial hearing was held. However, the businessman, who appeared to have confessed, shocked everyone in the courtroom with his next moves. The businessman first requested to waive his right to a lawyer. Despite the judge's friendly reminder, he insisted on defending himself. The judge had no choice but to respect his decision. Then the businessman requested to forgo the pretrial hearing and go straight to trial. While the prosecutor was curious, he still felt confident. After all, the case seemed already sealed, and the hearing was just a formality. But a phone call that evening left him stunned. Police analysis revealed that the gun found at the scene had no fingerprints of the businessman on it. Strangely, there were no signs the gun had been used. The prosecutor didn't let this shake him. He believed this was part of the murderer's plan and that the weapon was still at the scene. The next day, he and the police returned to search again. But aside from 4 missing bullets, they found no other clues. The murderer had no gunpowder residue on his hands, and his clothes had no bloodstains.